Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked. We're just jumping right into things here. I had a slight delay in my recording and jumped right into the game, and this is going to be an interesting match. Of course, I am still using Sam Pendalis' team, where he got second at Worlds. If you're interested in the team in terms of movesets and whatnot, linked in the description below, as well as Sam's Twitter. Our first opponent of the day is going to be using a team of Oranguru, Torkoal, Tapu Lele, Naui Eagle, Hariyama, and Oranguru. So, obvious Trick Room component with Hariyama and the Oranguru and Torkoal. Now Eagle could Trick Room as well, although it could be fast. So, that is a question. A lot of Orangurus are Mentorb as well, so that could be a cause for concern. One thing I could do is lead with Ninetales because I do have Roar with it. But, Torkoal Lilligant obviously isn't exactly the best matchup there for Ninetales. So I could go like Ninetales and Garchomp. I think I like that. Ninetales, Garchomp. Tapu Lele seems solid here. I don't like Mandibuzz. It doesn't really do much damage. Most of my opponent's team is physically based. Xurkitree, not that great. I think I'll go Arcanine just because it can intimidate Hariyama, it can Flare Blitz the Oranguru, the Tapu Lele, and the Lilligant. So, leading Hail here could be very risky since my opponent does have a Torkoal, but we'll see how it pays off. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Ranked, please share your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it, especially as we try to get back into the hang of things. And as always, thank you guys for supporting the channel and watching all the videos. And I know it's been, kind of a hectic time, but it is really nice to finally be back. And go check out the update video I posted a few days ago if you have not already. So we actually see Hariyama and Oranguru come out from my opponent. Okay. So this is interesting. Like I mentioned, I do have Roar on the Ninetales. You gotta wonder, though, if my opponent is going to stay in with the Oranguru right now. And the other question is, what is Hariyama gonna do? I do want to Roar Oranguru, but I would like to switch Garchomp out into Tapu Lele to make sure I don't get faked out. Yep, so Roar is going to go to Oranguru. I'm going to swap that out. Tapu Lele, one of the best Pokemon to have against Hariyama, is a pretty free switch in here as well. My opponent could easily anticipate this switch in, though, and go for like a Poison Jab or a Close Combat onto Ninetales. Either way, though, I need to deny Trick Room. If Trick Room goes up, I will probably lose this game with Torkoal and Oranguru, so I just can't let Trick Room go up right now. Nice. So the Fake Out does go. It actually went into the Tapu Lele slot, so I actually didn't really necessarily need to switch out there, but I don't mind switching to Tapu Lele because it has a phenomenal matchup against the Hariyama on my opponent's side. So my opponent's Tapu Lele takes hail damage first, indicating to me that it is faster. That's fine. I could Calm Mind here. You'd imagine Hariyama's going to want to switch out. I can also Moonblast Blizzard. I think I want to go for the Aurora Veil the most, though. Yep, I'm going to Aurora Veil, and do I want to Aurora Veil here? Yeah, probably. I feel like Hariyama definitely switches out here. So I'm going to Aurora Veil and Calm Mind. Yeah. So let's see. I just can't see a Hariyama staying in against the Tapu Lele. Yeah, just because you want to conserve Hariyama too, because like Close Combat and Poison Jab do a lot. So if you get Trick Room up, yep, it does switch out. Perfect. Probably Oranguru coming back. Yeah. So that's all fine. Maybe I should have roared the Oranguru slot. Or I should have just Blizzard and Moonblasted. Because this means my opponent might be able to get Trick Room up now, which could be scary. There's a Psychic. Yep, going out into Ninetales. Should have knocked me out. Yeah. And it's Life Orb Lele as well, so lots of good important information to confirm there. And I do get my first Calm Mind up. So that works out nicely, and because I'm slower as well, even if my opponent sets up Trick Room, like, that's okay. Although, what do I want to do here? I could disable the opponent's Psychic with my Ninetales. I could switch Ninetales out. Yeah, I kind of wish I, roared the Oranguru slot, because it was relatively obvious Oranguru was going into that slot. I kind of like the disable play here. Like, the thing is, because of Roar's priority, my opponent's just going to get a Psychic off against Ninetales, so if I disable it, then Tapu Lele's stuck in for another turn, and I can just Moonblast my opponent's Oranguru. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. Oh, Oranguru actually switches out into Hariyama. Maybe baiting out the Roar. I'm okay with that. Like, knocking out Hariyama was one of my main goals of this game, just because of its matchup against Tapu Lele specifically. And that means Trick Room doesn't go, and my opponent goes for the Psychic, so this turn, literally could not have played out any better. kind of surprised about that switch out, to be honest, because you know that Roar's priority is lower, so if I'm my opponent, I'm thinking, okay, all I have to do is Psychic my opponent's Ninetales, pick up the knockout there, and then I'll get a Trick Room up, because Ninetales can't roar me this turn. So maybe my opponent was trying to bait out a taunt. I mean, definitely not expecting the disable, which I think is also a really cool tech on the Ninetales. So this Ninetales is showing like why it's so cool with the unique set that it has. So Rangaroo comes out now. We know that the Tapu Lele is forced to... first of all, actually, I do want to think about things a little bit, and I think what I want to do is swap out into Arcanine. The reason being is I think my opponent's last Pokemon is going to be the Torkoal. So if it is that Torkoal, then by getting rid of the Sun, that means it would do less damage. And I think Ninetales has pretty much done everything that I've needed it to do. So I'm going to swap out an Arcanine. Intimidate obviously doesn't matter much, but my opponent can't Psychic. I guess the main question is, do I think Tapu Lele switches out right now? Because I could just Moonblast or Rangaroo, and if my opponent sets up Trick Room, then that's actually advantageous for me. Yeah, I'm just going to Moonblast or Rangaroo here. Tapu Lele could switch out, but if it does switch out, then my Ninetales can just swap back in, and I've got the special defense boost right now with Tapu Lele. So, yeah, I'm switching in Arcanine because I know that Tapu Lele can't Psychic me right now, so the most it can do is Moonblast, and either of these two Pokemon can take the Life Orb Moonblast. Rangaroo actually protects, okay? I'm also okay with that, you know, just because the Tapu Lele is stuck goes for Dazzling Gleam. Okay, so it's Moonblast, Psychic, and Dazzling Gleam. Or actually, I don't think we've seen Moonblast yet, right? Either way, like, my Tapu Lele takes that super easily, and now I can actually double up into a Rangaroo to further deny Trick Room. Although, maybe I don't even want to. Maybe I just want to... I don't know. The other question is what item a Rangaroo has. Like, typically I assume Mentor, but it also could be, like a Berry. But I suppose, like, Flare Blitz and Moonblast should just knock out a Rangaroo here. So, I think I will go for exactly that. Yeah. Just because if I deny Trick Room, then Garchomp should be able to just close out the game regardless of who my opponent has in the back. So, I don't know, the one turn that worked out really nicely this game was when the Hariyama just swapped in. Lele just stays in, goes for a Dazzling Gleam, that's fine by me. It does so little damage with the Aurora Veil and the Calm Mind boost here on Tapu Lele right now. So, I'm gonna get the Flare Blitz off. I know the Tapu Lele still can Psychic, which is why this is like just super, super safe. And that, yeah, doesn't put it in Berry KO range unless it's Citrus, and it actually is Citrus. Wow. Huh. I don't think Moonblast actually knocks out then. That's kind of annoying, but oh well. Even if Trick Room goes up, it's like now you're in an awkward position where I actually get a crit. So I'm not sure if that crit mattered. I think it might have, just because this Tapu Lele doesn't really have much special attack investment. But, like, if my opponent was going for Trick Room there, then what are you really going to do with the faster Tapu Lele, since we saw that outsped both my Arcanine and my Tapu Lele. If you go for a Psychic, then I just get a free switch in. And we do see that Torkoal is my opponent's last Pokemon. Not too surprising there. But that should just be game, especially as my opponent's Tapu Lele still cannot go for a Psychic onto me. And I'm boosted with my Lele. I think I'll just swap out into Ninetales here just to get the... Is there any reason to do that? Not really. Yeah, I'm actually just going to Flare Blitz Tapu Lele and Psychic. Or Psyshock. Because Ninetales and Garchomp wins the game with the Icy Wind and an Earthquake, and so Lele does protect, which I thought it might have. Psyshock here, you know, it's obviously counting on the Torkoal's defense, so it's going to do less damage than a Psychic would, but at +1, like, I'll still take that damage, probably around 40% or so. Just over, yeah. So I'm not sure if Eruption even knocks out my Tapu Lele. Let's see. Oh, that did so little! Aurora Veil is nuts, plus the special defense boost. Oh my gosh. This Tapu Lele is so fun to use. Yeah, so I can just go for... I mean, you probably Psychic here with Tapu Lele. I'll just double up into that slot. Because, like, Torkoal's not doing anything against either of my Pokemon. We saw how little that Eruption did. And, yeah, Lele just goes for a Psychic. Not knock out Arcanine, that's fine. Moonblast will knock out the Lele. Garchomp comes in, wins against the Torkoal. So, yep, I think this game, you know, there was a little bit of RNG. I feel pretty comfortable about how I played it overall. Although I think I could have denied Trick Room a little bit better. I was fully ready to play this game, and assuming that my opponent would get Trick Room up, just because, yeah, it's like the amount of resources my opponent would have to give up in order to set up that Trick Room I thought would be a lot. Especially because my opponent's Tapu Lele was faster. But, yep, I'll just bring Garchomp out, and that should be game. So, super intense game. I think Lilligant Torkoal teams are always scary, especially with the Rangaroo. If you guys remember, I actually had that like in the very beginning of the season. But yeah, I can just cleanly Tech Rage now, and Psyshock, not much my opponent can do to really stop it. So I think if I'm my opponent, what I would have done differently was just guaranteeing Trick Room up and then playing from there. Like that one turn the Hariyama switched in. I was really like confused about that just because I felt like Hariyama was my opponent's main win condition. Although maybe my opponent was trying to just like it definitely wasn't expecting the disable, I think. So what my opponent probably thought was, okay, I'll knock out your Ninetales while you knock out my Hariyama, then I get the Oranguru switch him back, and now I can set up Trick Room freely next turn. But actually, I guess another explanation is that we did see the Citrus Berry in Oranguru, so it might have been fearing a potential taunt. So, you know, try to bait out a taunt for my Tapu Lele, and then, yeah, go from there. But instead, that works out really, really nicely for me, so we do get a win, and we're going to find our second opponent of the day right away from Mexico. This one rocking a rain team of Pelipper, Golduck, but also with Metagross and Marowak and Salamence, so 3 Pokemon that we saw a lot of at Worlds specifically, and Cortana to match up, or to round it off with. So, immediately, let me think. Ninetales, really nice. Lele and Mandibuzz actually might not be too bad here. This is tricky though. Might go Lele Mandibuzz, just because Mandibuzz does really well against Metagross, Marowak, and Mence, and Cortana. Like, Foul Play does a lot to all of those. And then I can switch in Ninetales in the back. Definitely don't want Arcanine. So the question is, do I want Xurkitree or Garchomp? I think I will lead Lele Mandibuzz, though I think I want Ninetales in the back, just for weather control. Although maybe I don't want Ninetales. It's just, if I don't bring Ninetales, Golduck just seems like such a major threat. And it seems so silly not to bring Xurkitree here, but the main thing that's concerning is the Pelipper, or sorry, the Marowak. So I might actually go with Garchomp instead. Yeah. I don't know exactly how I feel about this comp. I feel like you could maybe, I don't know, like Arcanine I definitely don't bring in this matchup just because Flare Blitz isn't really doing much if Rain is up. And like Bulldoze is tough to get off against a faster comp like that. It does have the Salamence Metagross combination as well, but Foul Play is a pretty nice way around that. I think the Mandibuzz should be able to take like a +2 Meteor Mash just because Mandibuzz is so bulky. I'm not too sure about that, but Mandibuzz is really bulky. Okay, so gonna bring Lapalele Mandibuzz. Pelipper Golduck. Okay, that's kind of what I anticipated. I don't know if I can take a Hydro Vortex onto Mandibuzz. But the play I'm thinking about is switching out my Tapu Lele into Ninetales to get the Hail Up, which also breaks Pelipper's Sash, and just Tailwinding. So then my Ninetales ends up being the fastest Pokemon. Yeah, I like that. The only concern is neither Ninetales nor Mandibuzz really do much damage to my opponent's team at all, so I really have to rely on Tapu Lele and Garchomp. This is kind of risky. I mean, if Hydro Vortex goes into Ninetales, like, I get a free switching back into Lele. Most importantly, like, I break Pelipper's potential Sash. Yep, there's the Z move. Should be Water. Yeah, I'm not sure how else I could have led this. Maybe Xurkitree Lele with Ninetales in the back, but like that's the thing with Pelipper Golduck. The reason why it's such a strong combination is because you just have such a strong Z move, and even outside of the rain, like you still do so much damage. So I actually did target the Tapu Lele slot. Okay, interesting. I think that knocks me out regardless, unfortunately. But I know Ninetales has a lot of HP investment. Actually, it doesn't. Wow. I survived that with a lot more than I anticipated. Okay, cool. So Pelipper does go for a Tailwind. I'm going to match that Tailwind as well. This ends up working out pretty nicely. I don't take any damage with Mandibuzz, and that does mean that I can get a potential Aurora Veil up. Question is whether I actually want an Aurora Veil or not. I feel like the answer is yes, though. The only other potential play I could make is Icy Wind, but you could easily just switch out of that. So I'm going to Icy Wind... Oh, sorry. No, I meant Aurora Veil. Yeah. I think Pelipper probably switches out here. If it doesn't, then that means Golduck, you know, just can't get Rain up as easily. So Pelipper does switch out. I think anything coming in, Foul Play will do a decent amount. It actually is Marowak coming in, so this is perfect for me. Of course, I have to be worried about the Rain going up again, but getting Aurora Veil up here is immensely helpful just for the remainder of the match. And I Foul Played Pelipper because I figured it's probably going to switch out this turn just to get the Rain up for Golduck again. Oh, but that's not fun. Nice Encore play from my opponent there onto the Mandibuzz, which I should have anticipated, but didn't. And that's a little bit concerning because I don't really have a great free switch in here either. Because now you can, like, Ice Beam Shadow Bone Mandibuzz, or Ice Beam Flare Blitz. So that was a really nice play. I'm going to Icy Wind. Switching into either of these two is so risky. But I think I will switch out into Tapu Lele, yeah. With the Aurora Veil up, I don't know. If I'm my opponent here, I actually probably Scald and Flare Blitz Mandibuzz, so maybe I should have just stayed in and Icy Winded. But then, like, I don't know. I'm not getting much mileage off that either. I don't like the switch on I made here. I think it's too risky. Like, there's a decent chance Tapu Lele just faints here. What that would mean is a free switch into Garchomp afterwards, but, like, Tapu Lele is one of my two mains of offense here. And I feel like there's no way my opponent's just going to let me switch it in for free. And even with the Aurora Veil up, I'm not sure I can take a combination of attacks. So there's Scald. Oh, actually going to Ninetales, surprisingly. Okay. Crits me. I don't think it actually knocks out without the crit, so that's kind of annoying, but oh well. There's just a Flare Blitz. So no Shadow Bone, which means Tapu Lele should survive this with the Aurora Veil up and with max HP defense EVs. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that works out. But I'm still kind of in a dilemma. One good thing is that Tapu Lele is faster than Golduck now. I think I'm going to bring Garchomp. Yeah. But the main issue is you can now switch out the Marowak into Pelipper. Yeah. Switch out the Marowak into Pelipper and just protect Golduck. So I could make a hard read here and Rock Slide, and then because I have the Berry and Aurora Veil up, Calm Mind with Tapu Lele. Safer play would be to Tech Rage Golduck. If I'm my opponent, I switch Marowak out into Pelipper and protect Golduck. Alright, I'm going to make a pretty hard read here and expect that play. So I'm going to Rock Slide and Calm Mind. So let's see. I'd be really surprised if Golduck doesn't protect her. I feel like protecting is just like... Oh, Golduck switches out into Pelipper? Okay. Did Marowak protect? If not, I'm going to be in some trouble. I thought just, like, doing it the other way around would make a lot more sense. It doesn't protect either. That's pretty bad, because I don't think Rock Slide knocks out Marowak here. Yeah, it doesn't. Flinch would be really nice right now. Even if no flinch... Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tricky, because I know that the Golduck has Encore. No flinch, unfortunately, and a Shadow Bone comes out. Yep, just knocks out Tapu Lele. So, I mean, that's not the worst case scenario, but the main issue is that Golduck now will be able to outspeed things. And I've got Mandibuzz in the back. Although I could Tailwind. Actually, wait, no, I could just Rock Slide Tailwind. Yeah, that actually works out really nicely. What am I saying? Yeah. As long as I don't miss, I should be in a pretty good position, because that means Pelipper won't be able to Tailwind either, and that means Garchomp might just outspeed Golduck. But I missed Marowak. Okay, that's not the one I needed to hit more. So I at least knock out Pelipper, but that is annoying because Marowak does get a free attack off, and if Golduck actually is faster than Garchomp, that is going to be a concern. So that miss may have mattered, but we'll see. Yep, just going to Shadow Bone into Garchomp. So the issue is, I think maybe I can take an Ice Beam with the Aurora Veil up. I don't know how fast the Golduck is. It should be modest, so I think I should be able to outspeed it with Garchomp. But it will be quite close. I'm definitely Tech Raging here. Into Golduck. And just foul playing Marowak, yeah. Because I know Mandibuzz is faster than Marowak, so if Golduck protects, then Tech Rage just goes through, does some damage enough where EQ should knock it out the next turn, I think. I need to target the Golduck as well. Yep, Marowak protects. Okay, so Golduck's not protecting, so I'm faster, I just win. But we saw yesterday Garchomp's slower. Or could be slow, but I am faster than Golduck. Okay, good. Because Golduck's base speed isn't that high. And with Rain on Golduck, like, you typically run Modest because, like, you're expecting to outspeed everything. I mean, when you're Modest, you still outspeed everything. So this works out perfectly. Yeah, I thought I was in a pretty bad position when I miscalled the read where I thought, oh, Marowak definitely switches out into Pelipper there. And I was surprised because I feel like that was like my opponent's safest play by far, just because then the Golduck is putting on so much pressure. But yeah, Tech Rage here does knock out the Golduck cleanly. Marowak protected, so I can clean and target that slot next turn. And Mandibuzz might be able to just win me the game now because it does really well against my opponent's entire team. Other than, and yeah, there's Kartana, so that's super good for me as well. And we know it's not Z-move Kartana either, so all really good things. So I'm just gonna Earthquake now. Question is, who do I want to foul play? Like, I'll probably still just target Marowak here, even if my opponent gets the double. Leaf Blade doesn't knock out Garchomp because Aurora Veil is still up. So, yeah, I think my opponent has to get a double, has to crit a Leaf Blade onto Garchomp, but even still, like Mandibuzz, yeah, Marowak does go for the double. It does get it as well. Okay, that makes this a little bit more interesting. So maybe I should have protected Garchomp and foul played. Actually, that would have been a better play, the more I think about it. Or Swords Dance with Garchomp. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just Sacred Swords. Okay. That's definitely not gonna get my opponent into this. I think, like, you had to go for a Leaf Blade crit there. Maybe that's... I'm trying to figure out why you would Sacred Sword instead of Leaf Blading there. And there's still one more turn of Tailwind, so yeah, I'm just gonna go for the same play. Although this time I can just Earthquake and foul play the Kartana. The reason why I didn't target Marowak last turn was, or why I targeted Marowak last turn was because I was thinking, okay, let's say my opponent doesn't go for the double protect and Leaf Blade. Oh, I guess if my opponent doesn't go for the double, I'll just outspeed and Earthquake will knock out. So there's no reason not to foul play the Kartana there. So that was kind of a misplay as well. So yeah, not the cleanest, but of endgames there. In terms, like, I could have made a couple of better plays, I think. And you know, this game was really won off the fact that I was able to get Garchomp and Mandibuzz in at the same time, and so because I went for the Rock Slide that turn instead of the Tech Rage, the Pelipper took so much damage where it couldn't set up another Tailwind, and that ensured that I would be able to get up another Tailwind with my Mandibuzz while my opponent couldn't Tailwind. Fortunately, Garchomp was faster than the Golduck, which meant that I could just cleanly knock it out with the Tech Rage, and then, like, immediately in Team Preview, I figured, okay, if Mandibuzz makes it past through the rain combination of Pelipper Golduck, then, you know, Foul Play does so much damage to Salamence, to Metagross, to Marowak, and to the Kartana. And that's one of the reasons why I think the Mandibuzz was just an incredible call by Sam for World, specifically because Salamence Metagross was picking up so much traction, not to mention Marowak as well, and so Mandibuzz has a pretty favorable matchup against all these attackers, not to mention just common physical type attackers like Garchomp, like Kartana, etc. So, yeah, fun episode there. Both games were like games where I don't think I played like super well, but I had a pretty good team matchup, and my opponents made maybe like one or two plays that really allowed me to just get into it. I think like the first game, just switching out the Oranguru, not setting up Trick Room, and then the last game was able to nail the Pelipper as I switched in a Rock Slide, which just put me up so much. So even though I lost Tapu Lele there, I think my opponent probably should have just switched out the Marowak into Pelipper and stayed in with Golduck, because I feel like that gives you a better chance of winning from there. But yeah, it's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. As always, please leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and go check out the other videos, you know, the other Road to Ranks and the update video if you have not seen those already. Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow, guys. Peace.